Oh yeah? Is there no music? That's weird. Oh, okay. I think it's the problem that Mark had. Here, let me just fix that. Media request and enable for all channels. So there should be music right about now. Haha, so it worked. Okay. I'll let Mark know that that's the issue. He's been having that trouble for like ever since whatchamacallit, ever since his Forgotten Lands stream. Also, behold, I am here, says Santagoy. Yes, you are. Welcome aboard. I'm just getting some, a few final setup things ready. Not much I can do about the lighting situation here. Set it up. Yes, yes, sir. We'll do that, sir. I'll get right on it, sir. My skin's gonna look a little orange, but that's okay. You don't need good lighting if you're the light in my life, JP. Oh my god, I just creamed my pants. Man, you just earned yourself dinner. Smooth, operator. Alright, I'm just going to check if we're live on all platforms, and then we can actually start before the countdown timer reaches 0. One quick check on all of our platforms. Are we live on Facebook? I mean, we're obviously live on Twitch because Santago is chatting with us on Twitch. Okay, Facebook is up. The title is correct. I need a catchier title. If you guys have any suggestion on how to make this title pop out a little bit more, because I literally just listed some proper nouns from the topics today. If you want to see the topics list, go ahead and type !topics in the chat if you're on Twitch, and you'll get a link to our topics list. You can follow along if you like. But yeah, I wasn't feeling very creative this morning when I put the stream together. So it's kind of boring. I apologize for that. What about YouTube? Are we up on YouTube? And are we up on Mixer? Double checking, double checking. Yes, we are live on YouTube. And I think we're live on Mixer. Yes, we is. And my my audio is coming through on Mixer too. Dang it, Mixer. There you go. Won't hear that echo. Alrighty. Hopefully the restream bot works. on all of the platforms. I haven't heard any updates from the developers on if they made any changes or upgrades to the bot, so we'll just wait and see when we get there. Maybe make clickbait headlines based on the stories. Low key, that's what we've been trying to do. But we're not creative enough. Oh, how about this one? You'll never believe what kind of Fallout role-playing game is coming next by FFG. Watch now to hear more. What's another topic today? This ancient board game is being given a D&D facelift. Did Mark talk about GameRant.com's tips for beginner DMs? Was that last week? And was that from GameRant.com? Oh man, I forget. Oh, actually, I have the topic list right in front of me. Let me just open up the, the previous week's topic list. Stupid JP. No, that was the frankgm.com. 9 tips in overcoming your new GM fears. Okay. Post the article links. I shall help. Here you go. So yeah, just if ever you want to know the topics, just do !topics in chat, and then you'll get a link to our topics for the day. Okay, we can skip ahead of the countdown, but before we move on to our intro and the start of the show, there were a few people who followed the channel while we were offline, which is fine. Thanks, guys, for following while we're offline, but if you want to get the shout-outs, make sure to do it while we're live. I'll go ahead and go give you guys the shout-outs that you deserve right now and replay your channel alerts so that we can get that out of the way first. First of all, thank you to GLSU and Scrang and Danan Bartok for following. Thank you to, I don't know who this fucker is. This guy, Riveus? Oh man, what a dumb name. How do you even pronounce that? Riveus? For subscribing for 15 months? Jesus. What a loser. And then thank you also to Sefner and you 140550 also for following. Thank you guys. Making it a fun show to do every week. I apologize for having been gone for like 2 weeks in a row. Man, parent life is crazy hectic. All right, that said, let's get the countdown out of the way and we'll just go ahead and do the intro and get right to our show. Yeah? Yeah. Transition. Hello, everyone. Long time no see. It's been. I think the last time I was on here was October. Geez, I don't even remember. Like third week of October or something. Let's get right into the news, shall we? If you have any comments or additions to make during the discussion, then please feel free to mention it in chat, and we will just take it from there. You know how it is. It's table talk. Nothing's changed. Well, obviously the layout has changed. I am now on the left side of the screen rather than the right side of the screen. I'm trying something different because I just realized while watching Mark's coverage of Table Talk last week that on tablets, when you're in the on the Twitch app, when you're in landscape mode, the chat of the natural chat of Twitch is appearing on the right side of the screen, and then you can overlay that on top of the screen of the display of the stream that you're watching. So it kind of looked a little weird in the sense that there was like a double chat thing going on, and it was getting kind of distracting. So I wanted to see if this would make it a little bit easier, and we're going to play around with it, or I'm going to play around with it for a little bit. I don't know if Mark's going to follow suit. It's up to him. If he wants to do this, there's some configuration changes that he needs to make. So I can understand if he just wants to, just stream as normal. But that said, let's just go right into our first topic, which is murder and mistrust abound in Clue D&D. So apparently, this classic board game, I just realized I wasn't all the way at the top of the screen. Sorry about that. This classic board game, Clue, is getting a crazy new D&D version, which looks pretty interesting if you've seen the pictures, which if you haven't, I'm going to show you in a bit. Let's go ahead and start from the top. The barbarian in the library with a sword. Oh, you sweet summer child, there's a much bigger mystery at hand than simple murder in Clue, Dungeons & Dragons. A group of veteran adventurers discover that the infernal puzzle box has been stolen. Even worse, one of their own number has been replaced by the nefarious Zariel, who wants to claim the relic for her own. That means that not only are you down one party member, you can't trust any of your remaining allies. Who is a traitor? And will you find the puzzle box in time? So I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer, muted though. Let me just make sure that the site is muted, and then we can go ahead and play that in the background. Try the above, says Santiago. Joe Manganiello's bold claim, how to be a villain in ancient board games, new Star Wars RPG. Yeah, we're already live, so it's not going to make much sense to change it right now. But yeah, I can punch this in, and then whenever Restream gets around to changing the titles, will be when what it looks like. So that was the trailer. It was very simple. It's more like a teaser than a trailer. What weapon was used in the execution? Where in the Forgotten Realms is the infernal puzzle box hidden? And so on and so forth. It looks like, it's Clue. It's basically Clue. There's no getting around it. Let me fix the titles using Santiago's suggestion, and then we'll continue the show. Doop, doop, doop. Fix that. Oh, hyphens. I wish it was easier to type in N dashes. Okay, I have no idea how that's going to affect our, the YouTube algorithm or the Twitch algorithm, if changing the title in the middle of the stream is good or bad. We will see. It might even split the video into two now. I have no idea. I've made my bed and now I've got to lie in it, so we'll just see. Moving on, this looks to be a meticulously designed mashup between D&D Descent into Avernus and the Clue game you know and love, featuring iconic characters and creatures like Minsk and Lulu the Hollyphant as player tokens. Up to 6 players can descend into the mystery. We call dibs on that cat-like Tressim player token. You'll be rolling D6s instead of D20s, but that doesn't make this any less of a D&D adventure. I would argue that yes, it does kinda. D&D invented the polyhedrals, or not really invented, but popularized the polyhedrals. So it does kind of take away from D&D that you're rolling D6s instead of all of the other dice. But whatever, that's just me nitpicking. Instead of a mansion full of secret passages, you'll be exploring the depths of Baldur's Gate. From the Low Lantern Tavern, and the docks to places only the truly brave venture, like the Undercellar and Dungeon of the Dead. And this is what the set looks like. So you've got your board game box, you've got the murder weapons, the potential murder weapons. It looks like they're made in cast iron or sterling, not sterling. What is that term? Stainless steel. There you go. And then these are the player tokens. I don't know how to feel about that. Let me see if I can get a bigger image. The player tokens are just, those cardboard cutouts on plastic stands. Which, come on, this is Dungeons and Dragons, man. This is D&D. Where are the figurines? I don't know. But, it works for Clue, and tons of homebrews use something similar. There's even that Kickstarter campaign that we covered a while back on, how to do nice little cardboard cutouts with plastic stands. So I guess for the vast majority of players, they won't mind. I just feel like, if it's going to go the D&D flavor, it should have gone all the way with figurines. At least it's got a nice map, nice board game. Game comes complete with a full color board, metal weapon tokens, gorgeously illustrated cards, and the trusty Clue envelope and custom score pads. Use the Clue deduction skills you've honed since you were a kid to figure who the traitor in your midst is and where they might have hidden the infernal puzzle box. Perhaps Sariel used a horn of blasting to defeat your comrade, or a greatsword? Find out before it's too late. Clue D&D is available now at major retailers and your friendly local game store at a retail price of just shy of $40. Santagoy saying, didn't know that was possible. Stream algorithms are weird. Sorry. It's okay. I don't really care. You guys find out about this show from, word of mouth anyway and from other channels. So I doubt that a significant number of people actually still find us by just browsing on the Twitch dashboard or wherever it is. I know Dice Chuck did find us by browsing through Twitch and picking literally the channel with the least views. So thanks for that, Dice Chuck, who is here now, by the way. Like, greetings and hallucinations to you, friend. It's been a while. But yeah, it's Dice Chuck. He's back and on board, and he's here to share his wisdom with us once again. That said, we're gonna move on from here because I don't have much to say about Clue. I mean, it's D&D. It's like how it is with Monopoly now. Every new thing that becomes popular eventually gets a Monopoly board game. Like the Game of Thrones Monopoly board game. I'm surprised there hasn't been a major announcement of Game of Thrones Clue. That would be fucking like, let's search it. Game of Thrones Clue board game. It should exist. Yeah, it exists. Clue Game of Thrones board. Oh, it's just the board though? Or is it like the actual, is everything flavored for, yeah, it looks the same. Look at that. Look at this marketing art. I'm going to open this in a new tab if I can. There, open that in a new tab, and then I'm going to open up the it looks exactly the same. Open this in a new tab, and here we can see them side by side. This is the D&D Clue board game. Look at the pay close attention to the the character figurines, or not figurines, the figurines, the cardboard stands of the D&D board game, the D&D Clue board game, and then here's the Game of Thrones one. The Game of Thrones one looks even nicer. It's not just a plastic block underneath the cardboard. It's still cardboard, to be fair. But they've got like rooks, castles, They've got turrets underneath them. That's nicer. And they've got the same, weapon pieces. And the Game of Thrones one is cheaper, if I saw it correctly on the Amazon page. Oops. Amazon page, which I lost. Game of Thrones Clue board game. Here you go, USAopoly. Yeah, it's it's $32 instead of 40. US bucks instead of $40. Oh, I feel like USAopoly could have done a much better job with this. It's very obviously, or Hasbro rather, could have done a much better job at this. Oh well. People are less excited about Game of Thrones given how it ended. Yeah, that's true. I guess that wasn't, you know, I guess the board game wasn't created just after the way the Game of Thrones TV series ended, which would make a lot of sense. Um, but whatever, there were still a lot of Game of Thrones fans. Maybe it was more popular at the time than D&D, which is why there is obviously a lot more effort put into the Game of Thrones Clue version. I mean, look at that. Even the board game, the board itself looks like there's more detail. The border, check out the border around the board. It's got that nice Game of Thrones like parchment style map going on. Um, and then the D&D one is that. I mean, it's just a different style, but it looks like there was more effort put into the Game of Thrones one, which I'm a little bit peeved about, especially with regards to the player tokens. I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Where are the figurines, the minifigs? Please, Clue. Please, Hasbro. A little bit more respect would have been nice. Anyway, that's capitalism for you. There's only so much you can complain about without voting with your wallet. So if you're still a fan of Clue, a D&D flavor of Clue, go ahead and buy this. I won't stop you. I can't stop you. I mean, there's literally nothing I can do to stop you. But if you wanted a little bit more out of your board game, I would probably just make your own. You know, it's Clue. It's you can if you're a DM, even if you're a player who's got a creative DM, you can probably just make your own version of this. It's just the Clue basic rules, and this looks like a type of map that you can just print out and edit on Photoshop using online resources. I mean, even the look at that the between the rooms. What is this? This is probably more between areas rather than just rooms. So it makes more sense when you think of it that way. But between the areas, it doesn't look like there's a unified building. You know, it doesn't take place in a mansion. It takes place in Avernus. Did it say? Not in Avernus. I mean, clearly not in Avernus, but it takes place in a rather a D&D themed overworld. I guess like Waterdeep or something. It doesn't say, does it? Nope, I'm rereading this. It doesn't say where exactly in the world this takes place, but you do get to play as characters like Minsk and Lulu, which is cool, I guess. I mean, you can also just print out your your own, or use your own D&D minifigures that you've no doubt collected over the years. I'm gonna catch up with chat before I get too riled up over this. Well, thanks for the nice welcome, Santagoy. You ready to go out and about? Born ready. That was my first thought, JP. Monopoly versions. Oot and a boot. I don't recall ever hearing a Canadian saying a boot, but I hear a boat a lot. I think it's really a boat. And then people outside of Canada have bastardized it and turned it into a boot. People are less excited about Game of Thrones given how it ended, says Santagoy. Yep, I mentioned that earlier. The Lord of the Rings Risk, says Dice Chuck, is actually pretty good in that it isn't just a reskinning, it has an extra deck of cards to add to the strategic choices and theme. I would like that, to be honest, says Santagoy. Components have never meant much to me. I'd rather play a great game with great rules than that has thin cards with lousy artwork than a fair game that looks pretty, says Dice Chuck. I've never played Risk, says Santagoy. You and me both, brother. I have never played Risk. There are lots of far better dudes on a map or area control games. Risk is okay, says Dice Chuck, especially the newer version that has a pre-setup and some new powers you can get. Old Risk means when two people in a four-player game are eliminated, you still have a couple of hours left to play. The new version will end minutes after the first player is eliminated. Oh, okay. So it's a little bit more user-friendly? Or it's got better quality of life features. Wow, using digital game design terminology here, but it's got a more modernized feature set to appeal to the modern player who doesn't have a lot of time on his hands. Okay, let's move on to our next topic, which is how to design a compelling villain. This first topic, by the way, was from Nerdist.com. Oops, there's my grid fam, and I will post a link to it here in the chat. Oops, how come I can't post it in the chat? There you go. Dicetrack says user friendly and a total playtime of only about 45 minutes or so. Okay, next topic. D&D. Oh, scroll to the top, please. There we go. This is from GameRant.com. How to design a compelling villain. Here we go. There's the link if you want to follow along. You can also type !topics in the chat to get the command to throw you the list of topics. I mean, the link to the list of topics that we're discussing today. I'm going to go ahead and read through all of this first. We have time. There's not many topics today. Designing the perfect villain for a Dungeons & Dragons campaign can be incredibly difficult, especially for beginner DMs. Side note, there was a topic from last week's TableTalk hosted by Mark, which talked about 9 beginner tips for starter DMs to get you, over the initial fear or the initial hesitation or the initial intimidation that you might feel for trying out DMing for the first time. So if you had never DM'd before, I don't think anyone in our little channel has not DM'd before. But I digress. That is probably something that is worth rewatching. You can watch the VOD on our YouTube or Facebook channels. It is an NPC that will regularly antagonize a party throughout their adventure, and making it over or underpowered can have serious repercussions for an entire campaign. Fail to make them interesting or threatening enough, and players will have little reason to pursue the story's conflict. It's a delicate balancing act that can be difficult to pull off, but there are very few things more rewarding than nailing the perfect design for a big bad. I agree. The old saying goes, your movie is only as good as the villain, right? So you can kind of apply the same train of thought to a D&D campaign. There are a lot of things to consider when crafting a Dungeons & Dragons antagonist, but I would say that you can apply these rules to pretty much any system or any work of fiction that you have in mind. Designing a campaign in general is difficult enough, but it can be a lot harder to transition to a new villain without some difficult narrative work or a complete campaign reset. Be careful when first introducing the villain to the party. There's always the possibility that the bard will try and do something stupid to end the campaign in the first 20 minutes. It's kind of their MO. Why pin it on bards? Come on. Be sure to plan for them messing around just in case they try anything. Bards get a bad rap. I mean, sure, one of the most stereotypical ways to play a bard is to be, the sexy bard, the horny bard. But that doesn't mean every one of them has the same MO. Moving on, it's okay to draw influence from other villains in pop culture and use them to help influence a design. Think about what makes characters like Darth Vader and Handsome Jack cool. I love that they drop in Handsome Jack here. I only played through Borderlands 2 recently. I bought it like when it first came out, but I only really finished it recently, and Handsome Jack is, wow, a badass villain. Really, really big props to Gearbox for that. Which would be a better fit for the campaign's narrative if they were just to be dropped in? Which traits from each would make for an even better combo? By analyzing these factors, it's possible to make an amalgamation of other D&D villains, which can lead to some pretty stellar design. Keep expanding the pool, adding a little bit of creative flair each time to create something truly unique. More than anything, a good villain needs a compelling backstory. This is something that can be played around with throughout the campaign as players steadily begin to learn more about the antagonists as they adventure through the world. The richer a backstory the villain has, the more players will feel engaged with it. Having a good backstory will also make it easier to act out a character for those looking to roleplay as them. Being able to convincingly portray the villain in a unique way will make them much more memorable, and memorable villains make for memorable campaigns. At the end of the day, that's all a good DM can really hope for. It also helps if the players have some type of personal connection to the villain. This doesn't always need to be the case, but it can certainly help craft some difficult decisions for the players to work through. Maybe the villain is a close friend that fell from grace, or some other likable NPC that is now on the opposite end of the moral compass. This extra layer of connection will make each decision feel like it has more weight in the fight against the antagonist. Let's go ahead and take a break. Here we go. I'm gonna take a look at the chat. Don't get risk, get this, says Dice Chuck. I was about to call you Board Game Geek, but I guess that title also applies to you, huh, Dice Chuck? The beginner GM will probably have beginner players as well. This means the perfect villain is very likely already brewing in the form of that guy. This is from Artificity. That's a good point. If you are a beginner GM, although I would probably say that this advice could apply to to veteran GMs as well who have never made their own villains. Maybe you're a GM who has stuck to the source books, to the adventure books. You've run Lost Mines of Phandelver and Hordes of the Dragon Queen. I forget what it's called. I forget what that adventure is called. The one that I'm running right now. For the past 3 years, and you've never made your own villain. This could apply to you guys, even if you're veteran GMs. Dice Check says, Bards get a bad rap. Have you not seen Gamers Darkness Rising? No, you showed that to me. I have seen it, but Bards still get a bad rap. I mean, go to any D&D subreddit or D&D forum. You can see some of the more popular help topics are, how do I deal with my horny bard? So it's kind of a stereotype already at this point. Artificity says, Handsome Jack is such a hard villain to replicate because comedy is way harder to write. Yeah, I'd argue that's true. But there are some aspects of his backstory that you can take as well. It's not just the fact that he's a funny guy, that he's a wisecracking asshole. I think Handsome Jack had a love interest who you guys had to kill in Borderlands 2. I forget. It's been a while. Dice Check says, it might also be important to have the villain turn villain after meeting and leaving the PCs, else your murder hobos might kill him or her before the story starts. Yeah, that is true. That's actually something that was touched upon in this article regarding the bard. Your bard might try and seduce the the would-be big bad evil guy, before he or she turns evil. All right, moving on to the rest of the article. It's easy to design a villain that's just pure evil. A Godzilla or a Sauron that, more often than not, is not a metaphor for some real-world catastrophe. Or rather, is a metaphor for some real-world catastrophe. Sorry. But creating a villain that's a bit more morally ambiguous and throwing players in situations with no right decision can have a profound effect on a game. If players are beginning to question whether they're wrong or right, the DM is doing an excellent job. Without any ambiguity, dungeon masters run the risk of creating a boring villain, which can lead to an entire campaign dragging. Villains need to be powerful. It's okay to be just a tad sadistic or really sadistic. If a player loses an eye, arm, or some other body part at the hands of the main antagonist, they'll be a lot more interested in pursuing them. Oh, that revenge factor is a big deal for a lot of players. It also makes for a more interesting player character. It can add a few layers to role-playing and it can shake up combat if the DM wants to create a few house rules. Try it with a player that's having trouble getting invested in the story. It can be a clever way to draw them in, while at the same time providing some shock value to other members of the party. Deciding when to drop the villain in front of players can be a difficult balancing act. In Curse of Strahd, one of the best spooky campaigns, the villain is a looming presence, creating tension. That doesn't always need to be the case, but it is important to remind players what they're fighting against and why. There will come a time when the campaign needs a new villain. Yet another big bad that's bigger and badder than the one... Or, I read that wrong. Yet another big bad that's bigger and badder than the one that came before it. The same rules apply to that creature, human or whatever it winds up being. It can be a difficult transition to nail, though, as any longtime DM can attest to. Give the players some time to recover and celebrate after defeating a major antagonist. Run a few sessions with some smaller scale, more playful adventures. Not only will it let them feel as though they've actually saved the world, town, or hamlet that the villain was threatening, but it will also come off as a little less campy. A bigger, eviler villain popping up right after defeating the first one can be a bit hard to buy into at times. I'll take a moment to step out and give an example from this. In Avatar, The Last Airbender, uh, for a long time, I think for the first two books, the biggest villain that Team Avatar had going for them was Prince Zuko, right? So after they defeated him, there were a couple filler episodes, and then they had to move on to actually taking on Fire Lord Ozai, who was a bigger, eviler villain. And the bonus to that is not only did they defeat Zuko in the first couple books, but he turned good, and his character arc is still one of the best character arcs in young adult fiction, or child, if you want to consider it a children's show, sure. And they get that awesome big bad evil guy turned good guy on their team to help fight the eviler, bigger bad guy. I just like tying Avatar into as many things as I can. It takes a long time to begin nailing good villain designs. Making a villain that players will care about takes lots of practice, and no villain will be astonishing by the end of the first session. Take time throughout the story to reinforce why players have to defeat them, and it will add up to a great experience overall. There are tools out there for those who aren't confident in their abilities, but it's always fun to see a player designed villain keep the party engaged. All right, so that was villain design. They geared this for D&D, but you can apply these ideas and concepts to pretty much any work of fiction that you are developing, and it's from GameRant.com. I'm going to take a step to reread the chat. Dice Chuck says, "When I roleplay Spider-Man or Deadpool, it's challenging to come up with constant funny dialogue." Yeah, that's why I don't roleplay any funny people, because I'm not a funny dude. Most of the best villains do not know they are villains, says Dice Chuck. Yeah. They believe that what they are doing is the correct course of action, or that they are ultimately right in their actions. Santagoy, I will commit genocide because I was sad once in life. Such is the trope. Artificity, Basing Say was their Namek? Yeah, you can say, yeah. Bringing Dragon Ball into it, sure. I don't think Santagoy says I don't think they ever defeated him in reference to Fire Lord Ozai or in reference to Prince Zuko. They probably didn't defeat Prince Zuko in any physical manner, if I'm recalling the episodes correctly. It's been a while since I rewatched it, but they did get him to change his viewpoint eventually. They got him to stop considering his father as the ultimate, or redemption in the eyes of his father as the ultimate goal in his life, and to see his father for the monster that he truly is. So in that sense, they defeated his ideals. Dice Chuck says, I mean, Doctor Doom is a great villain. He's smarter than most everyone else. He has a time machine. Wow, shit, I didn't know that. He has a time machine and has watched countless Earth futures, and all of the ones he's seen where he is not world dictator, the people of Earth destroy themselves. So he feels justified in conquering the Earth, and he has come close to succeeding many times. He's a great villain for so many reasons. Too bad he's never been properly portrayed in a film. I think it's okay that he's not yet been properly portrayed in a film. The comic book fans like yourself, Dice Chuck, will know forever that he's really a lot more. There's a lot more to Doctor Doom than what the directors and screenwriters try to do. So you have that solace at least. There's just so much. There's just so much you can put in a film, right? Unless you're a Marvel or a Disney and can stretch a saga of films out to like 20 plus movies, in which case, sure, take your time developing that villain. I don't know how they would do it if not that way for Doctor Doom, right? You can't just make him the antagonist of one movie and then wrap in all of that awesomeness, all of the facts that he's seen Earth futures and is dead set in his ways, without him coming off as an asshole if you only give him 40 minutes of screen time, right? Santagoi, at book 1, Zuko helped them. Oh, okay. Yeah, he did when he was wearing the mask, right? Yeah, he was the blue spirit or some kind of spirit. He was wearing a mask. Restore the moon spirit. He helped them restore the moon spirit when Azula became the big bad in book 2. Okay. Yes, I'm misremembering. I forgot all about Azula. Dissect. The Avengers filmmakers changed Thanos' motivation in the films for the same reason. In the comics, Death is a person and Thanos is in love with her and kills half of everyone to try and please her, much different than in the film. Artificity. Doom has hammer space. Nothing is out of his reach except for personal happiness. Oh. It's weird propaganda, says Santagoi, that blockbuster films need some sort of environmental terrorist. And Dissect says, I think Kong is coming to the MCU soon. It would make sense. Then we'll get Doctor Doom and Galactus at some point. Cool. I have no Marvel references to draw on. I wasn't a comic book kid, so I can't join in the fun here. But you guys go ahead, talk about it if you like. Discuss your theories for the upcoming Phase 4. I don't mind. Go ahead. Spoil me if you like. All right, moving on to the next topic. This is Joe Manganiello says he would be Archon in a hypothetical Dungeons and Dragons movie. Here's the link. And there is a video. I'm going to go ahead and mute this, though. I'm not sure if this article is really just a transcript of the... Yeah, it looks like it's a transcript of the video. But yeah, essentially, Joe Manganiello has a character, a D&D character that he's played consistently over the years. And he even cameoed this character at the end of Season 1 of Critical Role. Archon. He is a half or a dragonborn, or is he a half dragon? I forget. But he's one of those, and it's pretty cool that he's been consistently playing this character, and using this character as discussion points and staying relevant in the D&D sphere. It's pretty funny. D&D fans are still waiting for a film adaptation of their beloved role-playing game that delivers on the promise of the franchise, and while a new reboot has been rumored at several points, fans are seemingly in for a bit longer of a wait. That said, there are plenty of amazing stories and other storytelling mediums to get your D&D fix, including shows like Force Grey and Critical Role. If you've watched those, you've no doubt met Joe Manganiello's character, Archon the Cruel, a red dragonborn anti-paladin who quickly became a favorite among his fans. The character has even made it into the official game and canon of D&D. And during an interview with comicbook.com, Manganiello was asked if he would bring that character to life if he made it into the movie. Well, I'll do his voice, Manganiello said. I mean, he should probably be CGI, but he was a man before he was transformed by Tiamat's magic, so I could maybe play him in the beginning. But we'd have to switch out and go CGI. Maybe we get Andy Serkis. No, I'm kidding. Of course, yeah, I would do it. As for what the movie needs to become successful, Manganiello has a few thoughts on that as well, which I will get to after I plug in my laptop because it just gave me a complaint for being low battery. Give me 1 second. I didn't realize that I was streaming off battery this whole time. That's kind of wild. What can I unplug? Is there anything here I can unplug? I'll be right back. Let me just put this screen up. BR transition. Okay, we're back. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that Dice Chuck actually threw up a song request. Maybe we can get to that in a bit. And while we're still here, I can go ahead and read off a couple chats that have gone on since I was gone. I'm still a comic book kid, says Dice Chuck. Oh, you're always going to be a kid at heart. You know, Vin Diesel would crawl on broken glass to be in a D&D film. I kind of get that feeling, yeah. I mean, he wanted to be in a D&D film, which is why he created that movie, Witch Hunter, right? Was that his movie? Uh, Vin Diesel, yeah, Witch Hunter. He created this movie because he wanted to play in a Dungeons and Dragons character. I remember reading this somehow, no, somewhere. John Favreau is a huge D&D fan too. He credits the game with causing him to become a filmmaker. Oh, that's awesome. And then, all right, and then more song requests. Sure, we can get to those either later today or on Wednesday or before Mark's stream. You can surprise him because this playlist carries over. Whatever you guys add to the playlist will go onto Mark's segment as well. Dicestruck says you can watch him play the Witch Hunter character in a game DM'd by Matt Mercer. Yeah, you can. It was the first episode of D&D with celebrities by Matt Mercer from the Geeks and Sundries channel, which is a great channel, which is what Dicecast was supposed to be. But we never got around to getting that blockbuster budget. Anyway, moving on. Manganiello has a few thoughts on what the movie needs to be to become successful. Yeah, I think everybody wants to see it on screen, but wants to see it done well, because it has been on screen before, and people are not happy with it. So I think it's a matter of not only getting it going in some form, but also getting it going in a way that's going to be satisfying, Manganiello said. Not only to the diehard fans, but also to the mainstream that has grown to love things like Game of Thrones. That has grown to love things like Lord of the Rings. So you want to appease those fans. I always think, what could I get my wife to go see? You know, my wife and I were glued to Game of Thrones every Sunday. So how do you create something that's going to capture everyone's imaginations, not just the diehard fans? All you have to do for the diehards is make something cool, Manganiello said. Make something they're proud to say, that's what I do. That's the thing I've been playing since I was a kid. That's all you have to do, and the rest of it is like just making a movie that my wife wants to go see. So, what do you want to see in the D&D movie? Let us know in the comments, or okay, that's the rest of the article, and that's the entirety of the thing. I would like to see Archon in a D&D movie, because should we go into spoilers? I mean, Critical Role Season 1 ended last year, so I think it's safely out of spoiler territory, and if you haven't watched it by now, you're probably not interested in watching it or listening to it at all. So, I mean, and Archon's character is, as the article said, an official character in official game canon of D&D. So, it's safe to say that Archon, and his name, his freaking name, Archon the Cruel. Okay, fine. Dicestruck says no spoilers. Okay, that's fine. Fine, no spoilers. But suffice it to say, it would be awesome to see his character in a D&D movie because of all of the guest characters that has appeared on Critical Role, I still like Manganiello's the best. A close second would be, what is the name? There was this guest player who is still involved with Critical Role and Geek and Sundry. Yeah, there's no spoilers. Don't worry, we're not. No spoilers. Don't worry. Anyway, there was this other guest character who was played by a player who used to play in Matt Mercer's Mom's D&D campaign. I really liked that character too, but Archon is still like just a little bit more on top for me. I really, really liked Archon the Cruel. What was the name? It's bugging me now. Matt Mercer's Mom D&D friend character. Wow, what a weird first hit. Got it. Yeah, Sprig. If you got up to that point in Critical Role Season 1, played by Darian DePaul. Yeah, Matt Mercer's mom, I think, was a player, a D&D player, and then she and her friends, one of them is Darian DePaul, um, and he is now a really talented voice actor and actor in some films, and he guested on Critical Role Season 1, and his character just stole the show. So good. You can really tell. He reprised his role of that campaign that he played with Matt Mercer's mom 20 plus years ago. He reprised that role in Matt Mercer's current campaign. Mercer wrote the character um, in a seamless way that carried or continued from the end of the last time they played. He played with Mercer's mom's D&D group, which is really, really cool. Dice says, before I forget, JP, I found another great old school, easy to pick up and play game for you. It's a ton of fun, and 2-player co-op is best on it. It's a Steam game. Sure, let me take a look at this real quick. Thy Sword. I think I have this. Yeah, it's in my Steam game inventory, I think. Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but it looks awesome. Yeah, we can try it out. Anyway, let's go and Google Darian DePaul Sprig for you guys, so I could just show you Darian DePaul Sprig. There you go. Darren. I was mispronouncing that name for the longest time. Darren DePaul and Sprig. So yeah, this is him. He has. Does he have a voice in the Outer Worlds? That's pretty badass. Where else has he lent his voice to? Final Fantasy 15, Spider-Man, Destiny 2, Doom, Middle Earth: Shadow of War, awesome. Adventures of Puss in Boots, We Bear Bears. Anyway, yeah, this guy, Darren DePaul, played D&D with Matt Mercer's mom, and his character essentially showed up in Critical Role. My second favorite character, right after Archon the Cruel. So, hoping that, if if Wizards of the Coast ever licenses a D&D movie, they do get people involved who are really in love with the franchise, with the game. Artificity says, "I love the color palette of thy sword, really selling that dose scheme." Oh yes, for sure. Art, I love it. Crawl is another gem for the same reasons. Yeah, I'm digging it. It really reminds me of. I don't know if Dice Chuck was around when I was still streaming Vagante. This was a game that I was streaming since before I was streaming Dicecast. Vagante is one of my all-time favorite roguelites. This is the color palette. Let's go ahead and just pause that for you. It's really dark, but that's because they're in a dark cave. There are other stages that are a little brighter. But yeah, this is the art style. It's like it's like old NES sprites. Really digging it. I should probably play Vagante again for Wednesdays. The new D&D film says Dice Chuck has a July 23, 2021 release date. Oh, was that official? I think the last time we covered the D&D film news, it was still being discussed. But yeah, that's good to know if there's an official release date for it. All right, let's move on to the next bit of news. We are breezing through these real fast. So the next bit of news is by bleedingcool.com. Starships and speeders coming soon for Star Wars RPG. No matter what part of that galaxy far, far away that you and your role-playing group find yourselves in, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to need some hunk of junk or other to get you from Mos Eisley to Ord Mantell. Luckily for all of us Star Wars RPG fans, Fantasy Flight Games is releasing Starships and Speeders, their latest supplement for their expansive Star Wars role-playing game system. Oh, I love that they use Lando Calrissian up front and center. What's under the hood? The Starships and Speeders supplement book for the Star Wars RPG system will be crammed full of all manner of vehicles that adventurers can use to pull off interplanetary heists, diplomatic missions, or raids on mining facilities, or trade runs. Over 130 vehicles will be detailed in Starships and Speeders, with each entry sporting a profile with stats, weapon profiles, and information on the engine loadouts and specs. The book will be broken up into sections for inner atmospheric ground vehicles and skimmers. Starfighters will get their own sections, while freighters, yachts, and luxury vehicles will be detailed in their own chapter. Cruisers and frigates will close out the book. Nice. It will also highlight famous or infamous ships from the Star Wars galaxy with profiles on Hera Snidel's Ghost, Boba Fett's Slave One, and the fastest heap in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon. Is this an excerpt from the book? I guess this is an excerpt. Rather than focusing on cosmetic repairs, Solo sought to disguise a smuggling vessel as a battered junker, cramming military-spec hardware into the Falcon's weapons, shielding, and sensor systems, and covering key systems with warship-grade hull plating. While effective, these upgrades go beyond what the YT-1300 was designed to handle, making the ship fickle and in constant need of repairs. Starships and Speeders for the Star Wars RPG system is available for pre-order from your favorite game store and will be released in early 2020. I like how they are covering ground vehicles, so we can potentially see pod racing. I want to see pod racing in a Star Wars RPG. Dissect says release date, production companies, and the fact that it will be Forgotten Realms is pretty much all they have decided. Okay. Who are those production companies? I know Hasbro, Paramount, Vertigo Entertainment. I don't know AllSpark Pictures. I don't know Sweet Pea Entertainment. And Dissect says, I use FaceRip when I run Star Wars. That's fair. Always welcome to use whatever system you are more comfortable with when running a different campaign setting. I'll be honest, I've only ever used D20, the 3.5 and 5th edition rules to run custom campaign settings because those are what I'm most familiar with. But yeah, you don't have to subscribe to any one particular system, but I think Starships and Speeders would be a cool supplement to have just for the information of all of the Star Wars vehicles and starships and frigates that there are. Because having it all in one book, condensed with pictures and specs and stats that you can translate into any other system, is a huge help, and it cuts down on preparation time a lot. I might buy this just because I really like. That's my favorite aspect of Star Wars is the vehicles and the starships. I really, really like the space battles. I don't care so much about whether Abrams or, thankfully, the Dan and Dave are no longer, the D&D brothers are no longer involved in Star Wars episode whatever. So we should be able to continue enjoying Star Wars, or at least what it has become of Star Wars, without the meddling of Dan and Dave Benioff. But yeah, that doesn't bother me so much because for me the biggest draw of Star Wars has always been the space battles. Like that's my biggest takeaway. So I was very happy seeing that iconic scene in Star Wars previous movie. See, I don't even bother remembering the names of the movies anymore. Star Wars previous movie. That iconic scene where the film just went silent and everything happened so quickly at the blink of an eye. I was pretty happy seeing that. Don't really care about the rest of it. Honestly. They can run Star Wars into the ground. I'll be sad for all of the fans. But if they still keep giving me my Star Wars, my space battles, I'll probably still watch the movies. Or at least just watch the YouTube clips of all of the space battles. Dicecheck says there are some serious rumors that the screenings for the new Star Wars films were a disaster, and Disney has asked George Lucas to come in and help fix things. I don't mind. Yeah, George Lucas has been treated like shit for over Star Wars for the past decade. So, yeah, they should. They should bring him back on board for consultation. Reports are that they have filmed 6 different endings so far. Wow. I would like to see some of the failed endings. I'll buy the DVD or the Blu-ray rather if it has those alternate endings to watch. That would be really fun. All right, rounding off our topics for the day, we're going to end quite early. It looks like, unless I find something else to filler the show with. This is also from BleedingCool.com, and it's a topic kind of close to my heart. Fallout Shelter board game coming soon from Fantasy Flight Games. I love the Fallout series. In fact, I'm still playing Fallout 76 now, despite all of the flack that Bethesda gets for it. Fallout 76 is a way that my brother and I still bond, playing online games. Even if it's a shitty game, we just love the Fallout universe and just walking around in a wasteland, just discovering things through there's no, I mean, to be fair, Fallout 76 truly has no NPCs in it yet, but there's still a lot of narrative elements in the game that you discover through the environment. There's environmental storytelling, there's holotapes that you can listen to and notes that you can discover. Yeah, lots of environmental storytelling in Fallout that just takes me back into classic Fallout and classic post-apocalyptic, just good old-fashioned nuclear post-apocalyptic settings. I think that this board game is probably not going to be something I will buy, though, because I liked Fallout Shelter as an app. Let's go ahead and read the article to see more about it. If you're a fan of the Fallout franchise, especially the Fallout Shelter game that debuted a few years back on your for your cell phone, Fantasy Flight Games has a new board game that's sure to get you more revved up than a super mutant with an unlimited supply of Nuka-Cola. Fallout Shelter is coming soon to a game store near you. And I love the presentation. It's literally a Fallout Shelter lunchbox, which is an item from the Fallout Shelter game. We just got an alert on Dicecast's internal Telegram just now telling us that our Twitch channel is now live. What the fuck? It's an hour late. All right. Well, I'll have to tweak that bot somehow. We'll see what I can do. I love the presentation. I maybe I'll buy it just for the lunchbox, and then I'll put the contents in some other, shoebox or something. It's a post-nuclear survival for 2 to 4 players. Game by Andrew Fisher. Wow, interesting. Moving on, the bombs have fallen, but under 2,000 feet of bedrock, your Vault-Tec vault is a thriving and joyous community, at least until the untimely death of your overseer. Now it's up to you and your fellow officers to keep your vault dwellers safe, productive, and happy. Compete with the other players to see who can inspire the most happiness and be elected as the new overseer. Fallout Shelter is based largely off the popular app game, but it's been translated pretty faithfully to a board game format. You play one of the vault dwellers vying to become the new overseer, but in order to make that happen, you're going to have to keep your crew happy, productive, and most of all, alive. Fallout Shelter is a worker placement game that puts you in charge of the various vault dwellers in your underground utopia beneath a post-nuclear world. You'll start every game with 2 Pip-Boy bobbleheads representing the dwellers you personally lead as an officer. While 2 may seem like a small amount, with careful planning you can facilitate the repopulation of our great nation. You're encouraging these little Pip-Boys to fuck. Of our great nation, increase your number of dwellers up to 7. No matter how many dwellers you have, however, on your turn, you will have to decide how your dwellers spend their time. Maybe you'll send them to a lounge to increase their happiness, or perhaps you'll send them back to their living quarters to get busy and produce even more dwellers. Fallout Shelter uses a cool card dynamic that lets players build their vault pretty much any way they want, with new cards representing the layout of the vault being placed as the game goes on. Oh, cool. So it's kind of like Betrayal at House on the Hill, or a lot of other similar board games where you actually discover the map as you play along. So in Fallout Shelter, you are building the vault as you go along the game. One of my favorite things so far about Fallout Shelter is the clear plastic threat cards that come into play when your vault gets raided. It's a cool mechanic that reminds me a little bit of Gloom, with new threats and challenges coming into play in unique ways. So, like, here's a picture exemplifying that. In the fitness room, there might be a feral ghoul running around. That's cool. The Fallout Shelter board game won't be released until the first quarter of 2020, so we tried Nivea Whitening Powder will sadly have to wait to see how the game plays out. If the mechanics of the game are as solid as the components look, we should be in for a treat right after the new year. You should be able to order Fallout Shelter from your local game store or anywhere that sells Fantasy Flight games. I hope it comes here. I might just look at it. At first, I was kind of, I'll stick with the app, but they rethemed it. They redid the game. It's no longer just a direct translation of the app, and it's good for 2 to 4 players. So why not? This seems pretty fucking cool. Catching up on chat. I doubt Kathleen Kennedy, this is about the Star Wars ending. I doubt Kathleen Kennedy will allow such endings on the Blu-ray. And that might be true, but one can hope. I just want to see how much of a shit show Star Wars could have been. Like how much of a bigger shit show it could have been, or how awesome it could have been. You never know. The test screening audiences aren't always the most representative of the the most hardcore fans of Star Wars. So you never know. The audience might have poo-pooed a really good ending. Dice Check says Santagoy says, I'm not surprised that Star Wars 9 will suck. I might get it. Oh, wait, no, I think these are 2 different trains of thoughts. Yeah, he's not surprised that Star Wars 9 will suck. Oh, it will suck. It will suck. I'm still going to watch it. I just want to see how bad of a train wreck this beloved franchise has gotten itself into. And also, I'm invested. Come on, I've seen every movie so far, so I kind of like it or not. I'm gonna see where this goes. Captain goes down with his ship, right? A fan goes down with his fandom, I suppose. Santago says, I might get it. I think this is in relation to Fallout Shelter. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it looks really interesting. If only for the box. I really like that box for some reason. It looks like a true Fallout fan paraphernalia. Dice Check says, for the very first time in my life, I'm having a very hard time selecting what board game I want for Christmas this year. Every board game I'm interested in is well over 130 Canadian dollars. So many board game reviewers are component snobs. Now the production quality is so crazy they have me priced out of my own hobby. Oh, that's sad. That's kind of sad. They should make, like, how there's paperback and hardcover books? There should be deluxe and standard editions of board games, which I think for a while did exist. Like Monopoly, you could always buy the regular old Monopoly set, but then you also could buy the deluxe Monopoly set with plastic community chests and chance cards, or gold-plated figurine. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if gold-plated figurines ever existed, but there were deluxe sets of classic board games that were just, bigger and better components. They should go back to that. Makes me sad, says Dice Check. Santagoy, how much will Fallout Shelter be? It didn't say. Artificity says, tabletop gentrification is the worst. Santagoy says, indie RPGs all the way, cheap as chips. I just want to watch The Mandalorian, says Santagoy. Yeah, you're going to have to shell out for that. And yet another streaming service just to watch the shows that we want. You know what? I'm probably going to just waving my colors again, because there's just too many streaming services to subscribe to now. Dice Check says, there isn't really an RPG out there that I want that I don't already have. Maybe Forbidden Lands? I've been saying that for years, JP. The minis should be a separate purchase. Cardboard standees work great, color and black and white versions, etc. Yeah, could be a thing. Maybe you should get into it. Maybe you should do it. Um, Board game rules cannot be copyrighted. So if you're able to figure out how to play a board game and then write out the rules on your own without plagiarizing the official or the original rule set, you can put together a cheaper, more budget version of, say, Gloomhaven or or whatever. You can, if you know how to rephrase the rules in a way that doesn't plagiarize or that doesn't constitute plagiarism, you can create your own version of a game scot-free, I would say, because you cannot copyright game rules or game mechanics. I think people have done that for Magic the Gathering, right? I'm going to Google this because I came across this recently as well. Magic the Gathering alternate fan-made rules or system. Okay, I'm not finding it right now, but there were some fans who have made their own Magic the Gathering games using literal Magic the Gathering rules that they never wrote down. They never, they know the rules, right? So they make their own cards and they play. They just play Magic the Gathering with their own homebrew stuff. It's rules can be copyrighted. The mechanisms cannot. However, they have been patented erroneously twice. Says Dice Chuck. All right. Mechanisms cannot be copyrighted. So there you go. Make your own version of Gloomhaven. A $200 fucking board game. And then package it in a little shoebox with cardboard standees. And there you go. Santagoy says, but I notice that folks don't really like exploring different systems. Yup. Case in point. I don't have the time to figure out new systems. I know D&D. I enjoy D&D. I'm good. Dice Chuck, even offer a print and play version. All right, I think that wraps up the show. I'm probably going to end it early because there's just no more news to talk about. Unless you guys know of some news to talk about, we can then discuss it together. What was it that Dice Chuck added to our playlist? Because I can just play that too for the rest of the stream. Oh, I see what you added. Okay, sure, let's go. I'll play it. Show on stream. I don't think it's playing on this screen because I don't have the media request stream going on. But yeah, I'm gonna have to add the media request tooltip here on this screen. 1 second. Browser source. That existing media request and on. There you go. So that should be playing some music while I talk in the background, and we will eventually get to Dice Chuck's additions. Santiago, he says, give me 1 minute. I guess he's looking for. Are you looking for news that we're going to talk about, buddy? I am. Okay, we can try it. Once again, many thanks to the people who have followed us while we were offline. So that's thanks to Das Panzerbaus, Sylvan Bookstore, Three-Eyed Magpie, GLSU, Skreng, Danon Bartok, Riveus, whoever that fucker is, Sefner, and U140550. So thank you guys for following the channel while we were offline. I don't know how that works or why you did, but sure, I'll take it, Santiago is looking for news to talk about. Sure, why not? We'll fill out the rest of the hour. It'll just be, JP and Friends talk show, I guess. So let's remove the topics. We're gonna just not talk about topics anymore. There's nothing else to talk about for the rest of the show. We're just going with whatever goes. So bring it on, guys, I guess. And we're just waiting for Santagoy. We can also Google it. Let's see. Let's see what's going on in the D&D subreddit. D&D reddit.com. That's too many D's. R D&D, and see what some of the top posts of the week are. Sort by top of the week. JP and Friends Talk Show. What's wrong with that? Did you cover this yet? Asks Santagoy. In the islands of Sinauna. I think Mark did talk about this, right? Didn't he talk about this last week? So the Islands of Sinauna, Philippine CTRPG book, inspired by Filipino mythos. Sinauna offers new player options, unique monsters, and world setting for what? For D&D? I guess it's for D&D because it's 5th edition. He's talking about 5th edition and for Dungeon Masters. So it's probably for D&D. All right, let's cover this. This looks pretty cool. I don't know how to feel about this though, because the campaign starter has never launched a campaign before. And she's based in Jacksonville, USA, which I have no idea how to feel about. It probably doesn't mean anything because in order to, I don't know, Indiegogo does allow you to have a campaign even if you're not in the States. So I don't know how to feel. We'll see. Discover Sinauna, explore the 7 Isles in a brand new campaign setting for 5e, including options for players in-game, terrifying monsters to encounter, and a world rich with stories and tradition. Featuring an entire team of passionate writers, researchers, and artists. We'll see about that. Where's the team? Who is involved? Okay. Lucia Verspril, the founder of Monstrous Incantation, at @mincantation on Twitter. After discovering inspiration in old mythology from her heritage, she began to seek out more information about stories and mythos from the Philippines, eventually leading to directing a team of other interested artists, writers, and players. Soon after, Joshua Mendenhall, or HT Paladin, I like that name, was sought out, beginning as the main graphic designer and layout artist for the book. Quickly, though, his longtime passion for TTRPG shone through in his strength with mechanics and storytelling, and Lucia appointed him co-director. Others on the team have been an immense help in researching, writing, and adding artistic visuals to the book. Okay. Oh, hey, BJ Ressia is here. Do I recognize anyone else? Nope. All right. Well, at least they have at least 3 Filipinos in the Philippines, that are helping work on this. Because I don't want to bash Filipinos in the States, because I was a Filipino in the States, for wanting to do something like this. It's just that oftentimes they have the intention, but the execution is just not kosher. I have experience with this, having kickstarted something that was intended to be a celebration of the Filipino culture and heritage. Started by a Filipino in New Jersey, and it ended up being just all about Filipinos in third culture kids, the Filipinos living abroad, OFW kids. So yeah, it's a little different. So I'm glad that at least these people are doing their due diligence, in looking for Filipinos in the Philippines to help them out with this. Let's see how this helps to widen the Dungeon Masters toolset. For Dungeon Masters, welcome to the Islands of Sinauna, a 5th edition compatible setting book drawing from Filipino mythology. See a world built from legends and folktales of the Filipino people as you travel through its vivid waters and deep jungles, meet the diverse people who inhabit them, and the places where they've built. Be it the burning ashen fields or the grand city of Kailahon. Build on and around the volcano they pay homage to. But Sinauna is fraught with creatures from earth to sky, and each one treats the mortal races as nothing but prey, fodder, or feed in their own distinct or brutal ways, be it the predatory and seducing Mandrangkal. I have never heard of this monster. I guess they took artistic liberties because they don't want to just say Manananggal, because that would just be, whoa, Pinoy pride. Like, it'll be too on the nose. So, also, another typo, be it the predatory and seducting Mandrangkal, the huge horned and scaled Ibingan, or the celestial eaters, immense creatures of spite and wrath, who will one day return to devour the moon. That is a real Filipino folklore. Sinauna will provide new ways to challenge your players or see their journey come to an end. For the players, to aid your players against the challenges of the island, hold for you. The islands of Sinauna represents new options for players to use when traversing the land, such as the Babaylan and Headhunter classes. Babaylan, you have learned the ways of magic through communion, through the spirits of your ancestors and those of nature, through the Abayan, the ethereal familiar with whom you formed a bond. With them, you have learned how to wield the magic of death and nature, and how you choose to refine that is up to you, be it through taking the injuries of others as you heal them, learning new ways for your magic to travel through this world, or by turning you and your Abayan into an adventure of nature, an avatar of nature. Is that Abayan or Abayan? Am I pronounced? How is it? Where is the stress? Someone will correct me in the chat. Whatever you decide, the world will bear witness to your deeds, and whatever you do will come bearing the full weight consequence of the spiritual worlds. Headhunter. Learn the trade of combat through ritual and temperament. Though you may cast down your enemies and those who wrong those you are loyal to, drawing from them their last breath, that is not the end of your skill. That's a sentence. Draw upon the power of your greatest kills and take their knowledge, skills, and might unto you. Death is not the end for them or for you, for as you cast them to rest with your ancestors, you can focus your resolve and take upon new omens and rituals to change your powers into something entirely new. Will you take the bones of your prey to forge yourself anew? Will you expand your soul with their own cunning? Or will you feel the blood of the hunt as you take on the deadly aspects of nature? No matter your choice, you draw closer and closer to becoming that symbol of fear and strength, the many-limbed silhouette. Then you've got a bunch of subclasses for the Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. They have a subclass for everything, it looks like, except for... Where is the exception? Well, Artificer is a Eberron class, so that's okay for them not to have here. Nope, looks like they have it for everything. But that's not all we will provide you, so that you may stand a fighting chance on the islands. Within the pages of the islands of Sinauna, you'll also find new options for pre-existing races. Play as a resurrected Dragonborn, whose visages are those of snakes and crocodiles, or play as the Balatkayo, a race made by the warrior goddess Halia, made in the image of her tusked mask. Volcano dwarves, mangrove halflings, and more await you within. There are 2 new backgrounds, over 20 new spells, new rules for boat combat and travel, and a host of new magic items ranging from the horrific transformative Dark Hen to weapons with strange and new powers. Okie dokie. I'm going to catch up with chat real quick because it's been a while, and I've probably been corrected multiple times on my pronunciations. DiceCheck says, I will never tire of seeing that Larry Elmore Redbox D&D cover art. Not ever. JP, have you ever gotten burned on a crowdfunding before? Both things asked by DiceChuck. Yes, I have. I have gotten burned on several crowdfunds before. I have also received several of my crowdfunds. I would like to say it's like easily 70% of my crowdfunds that have succeeded have reached me eventually. There were just a couple that fell through. All of the game crowdfunds that I've ever done have reached me, though. So that's the important bit. That's all I care about. Oh, hey, what's up, Crownery? Eric is in our Discord chat. I've tangentially been acquainted with HTT Paladin via RPG SEA comms. Seems like a good, passionate guy. Dice Chuck is requesting more songs for our. I can't hear the songs. We've tweaked some of the things in the back end, so the songs are all for you. The Crownery says, but yeah, I hear your issue, and I think that's why, as we are now connected more with these designers, they also seek out local consults from people like BJ. Yeah, you get it. There are people who don't know that we fucking exist and we know our shit. So they should ask people who live in the setting that they want to pay homage to help them out, to give them the details and the between the lines that you don't get from reading history books or Wikipedia articles, that are deeper and more ingrained in the core being of Filipino-ness that they can't have been weaned out from living abroad over many generations. So there's that aspect of game development that needs to be properly respected if you want to do something like this. Which is why I personally will never do something like this, because I could not do justice. I cannot do it justice. I am still an outsider looking in, despite me living here for years already. Scrolling down, more song requests by Dice Chuck. My goodness. If it wasn't text, I could tell you how I hear people say... Okay, so maybe the stress is in the middle, says Eric. By bayan. Okay. Lol, you won't get pronunciation corrections from me. I'm the same as you. Santagoy has another... Oh, hey, yeah, Amazon, the whole Amazon Twitch thing. Amazon Critical Role thing. Yeah, sure, we can talk about this, since I backed this. Okay, sure. We'll talk about this. Amazon picks up Critical Role's animated show as a Prime exclusive. That is a terrible headline, because it doesn't tell the entire story, and it's a quite alarmist story. I mean, headline. No, it's not a Prime exclusive. People who backed the show will still get to watch it outside of Amazon, even if they don't have a subscription to Amazon Prime. All right? What is exclusive, or what will be exclusive, at least at the start, will be the second season of Critical Role's animated show, which only came about through this partnership. So, if Amazon had never stepped in, there would be no season 2. People would still be able to enjoy the season 1 arc of whatever they are watching, whatever they are producing, which I think will be up until the end of the Briarwood arc of Critical Role season 1. But yeah, this is alarmist, and I just wanted to put that into context before we continue on with the article. But this article is from The Verge. This is to be expected from them. Amazon has ordered 24 episodes of the upcoming animated show Critical Role: The Legend of Vox Machina, according to Deadline. The show is based on the web series popular Twitch show, and Amazon is bringing it to Prime Video as an exclusive. On top of that, Critical Role has also signed a first-look deal to produce additional content exclusively for Amazon Prime. Critical Role, which features voice actors playing the indie blah 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 blah. Critical Role initially launched a Kickstarter earlier this year for a single 22-minute episode of The Legend of Vox Machina, which will elaborate on storylines from Critical Role's various D&D campaigns. Within 40 minutes, the Kickstarter had exceeded its goal of $7,500, $75,000, leading the company to extend their campaign to a full 10-episode series. So at least they get it right in the actual article. The Kickstarter went on to raise $11,385,449 from 88,887 backers. Oh, there should be one more backer! Dang it, Bobby! That's such a missed opportunity. One more backer would have done it. Making it the highest funded TV, film, or animation project on Kickstarter. Yeah, they celebrated this quite a bit. Still wrong, JP. It was 750,000. Numbers are hard, man. Numbers are harder than words for me. Amazon's partnership with Critical Role will add an extra 14 episodes to the show for a total of 2 seasons with 12 episodes each. Yeah. Kickstarter donors will still have early access to the 2-part opener for the series next fall and will be able to watch the first season for free. So there you go. No panties need to get, rustled here. Critical Role is one of Twitch's most popular shows, and now Amazon wants to use that success to help boost another one of its platforms, Prime Video. Amazon is cleverly expanding its existing relationship with Critical Role to benefit 2 of its platforms. Critical Role members Laura Bailey, Taliesin Jaffe, Ashley Johnson, Liam O'Brien, Matthew Mercer, Marisha Ray, Sam Riegel. You know what? No one knows how to pronounce Sam Riegel's name. Travis Willingham will star in the animated series as well as serve as executive producers. Brandon Auman and Chris Pranowski will also be joining as executive producers, with Sung Jin An serving as supervising director. Animation studio Titmouse will be animating the show. Critical Role: The Legend of Vox Machina is expected to be available to backers sometime next fall. No release date for Amazon Prime has been announced yet. Alright. There's a lot of backlash. There are people who have backed out of backing because of this partnership. If you ask me, that's bullshit. People are going to get what they paid for with the backing. It's not... I don't know if it's out of misunderstanding or just people who are virtue signaling and just not happy at all with this partnership in general. Which, sure, there's some validity to that. Amazon is not the greatest company to associate this beloved hobby with. I mean... They've recently been called the most dangerous company because of all of the warehouse deaths, right? But the reality is, if Amazon partners with Critical Role and it gives you more content to watch, of this show that you supposedly love and support with all of your time and money, then I don't know how you can. Hard to find the words. I'm trying to find the words. Maybe that's why they stopped backing it. Maybe they're very extreme about the partnership. I don't know. Says Eric, is it because of the rewards retrieval or the fact that Amazon is exploitative AF, with employees living beneath poverty line despite huge profits? Yeah, sure. I mean, that can be it. You can boycott Critical Role's involvement with Amazon that way. But you're still getting the show that you backed. So I don't know why you suddenly pulled your funds out of the backer and stopped being a backer role, because that won't change the partnership. It only changes the fact that now you can't see the thing that you wanted to originally, whether or not Amazon would have stepped in. Maybe some people's moral compasses are a lot more stricter than mine. Maybe, maybe they truly believe that by voting with their wallet, they're going to make a change in this show, in this group. The fact of the matter is, Critical Role needs to make money. They need to have funds in order to keep doing these things that you people love, So if they're going to be partnering with Wendy's, if they're going to be partnering with Amazon to do this shit, who are you to say that they're wrong? If you don't want them to partner with Amazon, I suppose give them another platform. Give them give them an entryway to Netflix. Give them someone to talk to at Netflix, or give them someone to talk to at iFlix, or give them someone to talk to at Microsoft, or give them all your money. I don't know. They need the money to make this shit that you like to watch. So, that's what I have to say about that. They could choose to partner with less, volatile companies, or less. What's the term? The term is... Oh god. The more I'm trying to think of the word, the harder it is for me to reach. It was at the tip of my tongue earlier, and now I don't even know what I'm trying to say. with less controversial companies. They could, but they didn't. They ended up with Amazon. Maybe because that's who they had contacts with. Maybe that because that's who they had an in with. Fact of the matter is, that's who they have to partner with in order to make this shit. I don't know how else to say it. If they didn't partner with Amazon, you're not going to get a second season. If they didn't partner with Amazon, you probably wouldn't get the chance to see more Critical Role animated content. No. There's a point, there's a line in activism that should not be crossed, yes. But I don't think this is it. I mean, there's a lot of people who will voice their opinions, and I'm one of them, and maybe my opinions are unfounded. I don't know. I don't have all of the information. I can't pretend to know all of the business dealings that go on behind the scenes. Marisha Ray does a great job at being a producer at Critical Role's new, offices ever since they've stepped away from Geek and Sundry, which is a whole thing in and of itself. But they're still people, and they still have the same limitations that small businesses are all working with. And yes, Critical Role is a small business. They have a huge audience, but don't kid yourselves. Critical Role is still small beans when compared to the likes of Amazon and Wendy's and all of these companies that you hate. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this. I have no idea what song was playing in the background while I was ranting about this, so it might have undermined my entire argument. We'll see in the VOD. But there's no more topics to discuss. I think Santagoy has stopped looking, possibly stopped listening as well, because I know that my opinions are probably not what people want to hear. So we're just gonna end the stream. Maybe there's another thing we can look for. Oh no, I was looking at the top of the week post from the D&D subreddit. What's a good one? There's a lot of art, of course. Art is a huge thing here on the D&D sub. Our Sun Elf Bard Bubbles inspires herself during her first combat ever. Can you inspire yourself as a bard? I did not know. I don't think so. How many eyes is too many eyes on a mimic? Whoa, this is cool. You know when they make... when people make fan art of mimics, it trips me up, because like mimics are supposed to be indistinguishable, right? They're supposed to be a very good copy of the thing that they're mimicking. And then you have things like this with very obvious eyes in the wood and then teeth growing out of it. I mean, it looks awesome, to be sure. But since when did the term mimic become synonymous with a monstrified mundane object? Made myself a D20. It has some bubbles. Probably not balanced. Painting is messy, but I made it myself, and I'm so happy. Aw. Good job, guy. Dice Chuck says, I'm still here, dude. Oh, of course. I can always count on you to be here. Santagoy, I'm still looking. Now I was just waiting for someone else to post, but I am still on the lookout for articles. Sure, you have 20 minutes. Dice Chuck says, I thought they looked identical until they ambush you and the fight occurs. Yeah, that's my understanding of mimics. So maybe all of these monstrous items are like after the party has already discovered the true nature of the object. Okay. Alright, I stand corrected. These are post-initiative mimics. For my cake day, I'm posting one final render. I'll have the entire set cast and printed in brass suit. In the last week of November, I will be giving away several full sets of the dice in electroplated 18-karat gold and a set of solid silver. Look at that. That's amazing. The numbers in the die are part of the metal casting. That's really cool. Elementals, my dear Watson. They're elementals. I like that art style. It looks like a Final Fantasy Tactics battle map, or an ogre tactics battle map. Dungeons and Dragons saved my life. Sure, let's give this a try. There's no paragraph spacing to speak of, but we can try it. Dungeons and Dragons saved my life. This is from Fluffy Pixie 6 days ago. I'll read this out, and hopefully we'll have another topic to talk about in the chat before I get to the end. As cheesy as it may sound, Dungeons and Dragons is the reason I'm still alive. About a year ago, I had made plans to commit suicide. I didn't have much of a reason not to. One of my acquaintances invited me to play Dungeons and Dragons with a group of his friends. I had heard of the game before, but always thought it was kind of stupid hobby to pursue. But decided to go since I didn't have any plans. And throughout the 3-hour session, I realized that I loved playing the character I was given. His name was Fenton Bonnie, and he was a pirate, level 5 swashbuckler. I played him as proud as a confident character who didn't take shit from people. The way I wish my life was in real life. I continued to go to Dungeons and Dragons sessions for 4 months after that, eventually getting to about level 12. Along the way, Fenton had contracted lycanthropy and was a rare tiger, which added so much depth to the interactions I had with NPCs and other player characters. 2 enchanted scimitars and the cloak of the manta ray made me feel like my character was becoming something special, not just another generic hero. Fenton Bonnie helped me become more confident, helped me get over my crippling anxiety, and allowed me to escape the world I so thoroughly hated. Fenton made my life worth living. Then the fateful day arrived. Fenton was separated from the party along with our party's bard and was trying to get back to them in a dungeon. After several encounters with monsters throughout his endeavor to find his friend, he had about 30 or so HP left. There were things looking grim. The dungeon were open. The natural cavern. And I could see light from another entrance at the top of the cavern. The catch here is that Fenton and Welby both had a wisdom score of 80. 80? 8, making perception one of his weakest skills. While climbing up the walls of the cave, the gnome bard on his back, Fenton heard a deep grumble from behind him and turned to face the adult red dragon who wandered straight into his lair. With the 18 strength score he had, because of him being a were-tiger, he threw the 30-pound gnome up and out through the entrance and tried to climb the rest of the way up to escape. However, the dragon decided he didn't want me to leave and used his breath attack on me, maximum damage roll on the Dungeon Master's part. Even with the uncanny dodge and evasion, Fenton fell and died. Devastated, he got up and left the table. His character, who had become my professor, was dead, and there was no way to get him back. I didn't cry. I realized the sudden urgency of my own mortality, just like that of Fenton's, and then I realized something. I had never had such a significant connection to anything I had in this world I played in. The character I played, the party I fought with, the NPCs I communicated with, these characters were all made up, but they had meant so much to me, and I decided I wanted to do the same for other people. I went back to the table and watched and listened as the rest of the session took place, and once it was done, this was supposed to be the last session of the campaign. I asked the DM if I could DM the next campaign. Next skip forward a few more months, and I'm running my own session, building a beautiful world filled with amazing people, and I've never been happier. Dungeons & Dragons is the nerdiest thing I've ever done in my life, and I absolutely love it. There's nothing I'd rather do than play this amazing game. Thank you, Gary Gagas, for what you've done to me. Done for me. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for what you've done for me. Thank you, RD&D, for what you've done for me. I love you all. I hope you have adventures that would make Fenton Bonnie proud. Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Still on the lookout for articles, says Santagoy. Also, says Santagoy, https://lumply.itch.io apocalypse world. Looks like the bakers are no longer exclusive to DTRPG anymore. Not sure if they were in the first place, but I assume so because Apocalypse World wasn't anywhere else. Now it's on itch.io. Boyproblems.itch.io. Also wondering if you saw this Halloween-themed Carly Rae Jepsen. Yes, we did. This was covered by Mark. If you buy an audiobook and don't have time to listen to it, just get JP to read it to you over in minutes. Yeah, but he'll probably not understand the thing I said. Apocalypse World. Something's wrong with the world and I don't know what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's people. It used to be better. Of course it did. In the golden age of legend, there was enough to eat and enough hope, and there was one nation under God. Debatable. And people could lift their eyes and see beyond the horizon, beyond the day. Children were born happy and grew up rich. Now that's not what we've got. We've got this. Heart holders stand against the screaming elements and all comers, keeping safe as many as they can. Angels and savvy heads run constant battle against there's not enough and bullets fly and everything breaks. Let me read this in an old man's gruff voice, because this sounds like an old man complaining. Hocuses gather people around them. They are protectors, saviors, visionaries, or just wishful thinkers. Choppers, gunluggers, and battle babes carve out what they can and defend it with blood, bullets. Drivers search and scavenge, looking for that opportunity, that one perfect chance. Skinners and the Maestro D? Maestro D? Remember beauty or invent beauty anew. Cup it in their hands and whisper, come and see. And don't worry now about what it will cost you. And brainers, oh, brainers. Brainers see what none of the rest of us will. The world's psychic maelstrom. The terrible desperation and hate pressing in at the edge of all perception. It is the world now. And you, who are you? This is what we've got, yes. What are you going to make of it? Alright, cool. This was released 14 hours ago. It's $15. You can buy it now. You'll get Apocalypse World, Second Ed, the basic rule book, the basic reference book, and the extended playbooks. So, yeah, get it from Itch.io, which is a new place to get Apocalypse World. It used to only be on Drive-Thru RPG, according to Santagoy. I think I need to give my throat a rest now. What else is going on in RD&D? Hey, is that Wolverine? No. Samuel Thomas and his familiar Filch. My lurker in the deep warlock. Cool. More art. Wow! Oh, shit. Okay, so that render that we saw earlier about the metal dice, this is an actual print now, it looks like. That is nice looking. Hard to read, though, I would say. Really hard to read the numbers unless you get in real close. Have you checked your source books for Easter eggs lately? Alright, so someone cared to share this. Disclaimer. I think this is from the Monster Manual. Any similarities between monsters depicted in this book and monsters that actually exist are purely coincidental. That goes double for Mind Flayers, which absolutely, utterly, and completely do not exist, nor do they secretly run the D&D team. Do we really need a disclaimer to tell you that? You shouldn't use your brain to consider such irrational thoughts. They only make the mind cluttered, confused, and unpleasantly chewy. A good brain is nice, tender, and barely used. Go ahead, put down this book and watch some reality TV or internet cat videos. They're really funny these days. You won't regret it. We say this only because we love you and your juicy, succulent gamer brain. It's really there. Okay. Hey, it's that Mimic Stein. All painted. Alright, what do we have here? Surprise my players with character acrylic stands. Oh, wow. See, why couldn't the Clue board game have at least done this? If someone can fucking make it themselves, you know, this is just too cool. That is badass. And the players all look so happy. That's cool. 2,000-year-old Roman D12 from Patras made of rock crystal from around 50 AD. Wow. So them old Romans were playing D&D since before it was cool or invented. More art, more art, more art. The longest time I spent on a city map yet. This is a time-lapse art piece. Oh, wow. I wish I could draw city art like that. I used to have a pen just like that. This was a Rotring technical pen. It's all of the little tiny shading and the details that's so hard to do properly. Because I can do the outline of a tree. I feel like I can do an outline of a building and an outline of a tree just fine. It's a geometric shape. But the shading, that's art. DiceChuck says, these are some of the best RPG books I've ever read in my life. I love these. Putting this up on the stream. Oops, I lost my browser. Okay. Fighting Fantasy Classics. So are these... I didn't know you can get books on Steam. What are these? Are these like just digital books? Oh, cool. And then you can... Wow, that is cool. Nice. Oh, hey, that... What was that? Oh, okay. I thought this was a dick. I'm sorry. When it was just scrolling through earlier, I thought this here on the right side, this Minotaur's toga, loincloth, that looked really dick-like to me. My bad. Okay. Man, classic fantasy art. Doesn't look like that these days anymore, huh? I put our campaign's map in a web map complete with pop-ups with city details and city maps. Is this open source? That would be cool to use. That's an ad. Some gag weapons are surprisingly useful. A modest knife, a weapon for those with nothing to prove. 575 gold. Yikes. 525 gold to buy it. It's only 1d4 piercing, but it is concealable. And it has a glass cutter. Okay. And it has 5 feet of fine piano wire concealed beneath the... Okay. Alright, so it's more of a tool than a knife. These were, says Dice Chuck, the original 80s books done as interactive software, including dice rolling and character sheets. They are all solo adventures. I have them all. That's awesome. Oh, dang, the Dispel dice. Actually, I was considering putting this up for discussion today as one of the topics. These are amazing. They're resin dice, to be sure. So it's made out of the same material that a lot of other dice makers use, including many dice makers here in the Philippines. Many custom dice makers here do resin dice. But look at these! Jesus Christ, they're beautiful! I'm gonna mute this. Look at that! That is just fucking amazing! And you can see the imperfections in the resin. You can see the imperfections from the mold, from the sanding. It's all there. So it's got that resin character to it. But Jesus! Oh, it's so pretty! Fuck! Yeah, but they're really expensive. I would back this if I had the cash. Look at that. So yeah, one of the other reasons why I didn't talk about this today is because I want to promote our local dice makers. You know, people like Natural 20 PH and Diceski. I mean, they make great stuff, or they also curate great stuff. This is their competition, though. Like, fucking, wow, man. Anyway. Let's move on. Have about 5 minutes. Was there any other topics? Nope. Scrolling through the chat, I don't see any other topics to discuss. Oh, shoot. Eric had a question. People are feeling betrayed by that. I'm not caught up. Oh, okay, sorry. I discussed this. People are feeling betrayed by Amazon, by Critical Role, because they partner with Big Bad Amazon. Same way they feel betrayed by Critical Role because they partner with Big Bad Wendy's. Yeah, those are all really pretty, says Santagoy. I agree. What is next? I think we're down here. Nope, we are no longer in the weekly. Here we go. That's cool art. That's cool. This homemade pirate ship for the homebrew campaign this guy is currently running. You can't get more homebrew than this. Like, you come from the custom dice sets, and the custom acrylic character character stance, and then you get this. This looks amazing, though. Like, I will definitely give it props for just effort. A for effort, man. And this embodies the spirit of homebrew. You know, you don't have to have all the fancy dice, the fancy figurines. You don't have to have a DM like a fancy digital what's the term? The digital tabletop that uses an LCD screen to have a living map there. You don't have to have a living map. Just, you know, the minimum amount of creativity and effort to make to make a campaign session feel fun for your players. This is great. I love it. And then I love how, like, you have the very carefully measured out and drawn in grid here at the the deck of the ship, and then you get up to the stairs, and it's like, whatever. You just need the general idea of the spacing on the deck here, of the ladders, of the stairs, I mean. Sure. This is great. This is great. Yeah. You don't need to spend mucho dinero on your RPG, on your tabletop centerpieces, you know. That's cool art. That's cool art. That's cool. That's a cool. This is like Artificer Iron Man. That's nice. I'm pretty sure this photo accurately represents how DMs feel all the time. A Boblin's tail. Oh my god, that's adorable. Dicechuck says, if you like that, check this out. It's epic. I mean, it's epic for a different reason. Because it's freaking Adam Savage. Dicechuck, I was saying, like, you can achieve the same sentiment without being so over the top, you know. That was my whole spiel. Oh man, I can't open chat. Why? It's not letting me click the link. Weird. Okay, here. There we go. Mute. Stupid ad. Get out of the way, Oppo. I'm not getting paid for running your ads. There you go. So this is what Dicechuck wanted to share. It's, I mean, it's Adam Savage, so you can probably see where this is going. Holy hell, man. Holy hell. See, there's that. There's that, which is wonderful and immersive and excellent and aesthetically pleasing and beautiful and shit. And then there's this, which is accessible. I'll take accessible any day. Because unfortunately for you guys, I'm not Adam Savage. I can't make this shit. I can make this shit. Damn. This is cool. Speaking of making this shit, there is something that I made, which I don't know. I don't know what our DM Lance is gonna do about it, but here, I'll give you a peek into our little discussions. Screen. Oh, I just realized you guys can't see anything there because that's not where I have it. Here, let's go to web.telegram. Oh, but if I type it in here, then you guys are going to see... Here, let me just do this real quick. web.telegram.org. And then I'm going to sign in. Don't want to share my phone number with you guys, although I will say that it's not hard to find my phone number. I don't hide it very well. I just want to share something with you guys that I made. Not necessarily for my D&D group, because I have shared my creations before, but not this one. Here we go. Here we go. Alright, let me put this back up in the main display. So, I made this thing. It's like, it was a proof of concept thing that I just put together for my buddies. That's my laptop on the left. Ooh, too big. And then this is a digital, just a little digital tabletop with a live, a live map. Just made out of paper. Like corrugated cardboard and foam paper. It's just a proof of concept. Here it is with some figurines. With that live map. You can roll dice on it if you really wanted to. Here it is, like the internals. You can see, it's really just foam paper. You've got some wires sticking out of it. And there's the legs. It's literally just match the fucking table leg into the goddamn little table holes at the bottom. That's it. So yeah, I think seeing as how I can make that, I can probably make something like this. I want to make something like this now. Is what I'm saying. I'm kind of itching to make it. Catching up with chat. Dicecheck says, I'm guessing this is Adam Savage is what he's referring to. Adam Savage's creation. It's all modular. You can rotate them and turn them upside down and stuff to get multiple uses from just a few pieces. It's all 3D printed. Oh, is it now? Okay, that just turns the accessibility thing of this piece way up because you can buy 3D prints. Oh, but then you're gonna have to paint it, obviously. You're gonna have to fucking paint it. Oh, cool, and he stacks it. Okay. That is nice. Is it available to just people who want to... Yeah, are the STL files just available for free? Those maps look like Dynamic Dungeon maps, says Tally Duckstar. Yes, they are, the ones that I shared earlier. I was using it as a proof of concept. Just seeing, you can make your own, alright? Secret sauce. I'm not supposed to fucking talk about this because Lance wants to do something with it, but this took me just 10 minutes to make. Alright, guys? You can make your own with a busted laptop monitor that you have lying around. Just buy a little... Shit, I forgot what it's called. You just buy a little converter box. And, ooh, you can see who I'm talking to. Sorry. You can buy a little converter box to turn your laptop screen, your dead laptop screen, which you've salvaged from a dead laptop. And then it turns it into a screen that you can use with regular inputs, VGA, HDMI, DVI. And it's $30. So if you have a laptop that isn't working, but the screen is still good, you can do that. And then just put it, literally, instead of the laptop screen opening up like this and you still using it as a regular display, just take the screen, and then just lay it flat. That's it. That's all I did. And then Lance thought it was such a big deal. I don't know. It's not a big deal. You can make your own. It's not hard. You can just buy a TV if you wanted to. And then the hard part is finding out how you can build a table around the TV. If you're into woodcrafts, or... if you're willing to cut into a fucking wooden table yourself, you can do it yourself. Yeah, those maps are really cool. I like the whole idea of having a living map is really nice. It's actually called D&D Living Map. Dynamic maps. There, by Lost Legend. Yeah, this is the guy, I think. He has a Patreon. This is literally the map that I used in the video that I just played from my Telegram. This is it. Oh, not this one. No. There was another one. Lost Mines of Phandelver. It had the dead horses in it. But yeah, this is it. This is a YouTube video. All you do, you get a TV, or you get a laptop monitor or a portable monitor. Put this on the display. either through like a USB stick if your TV supports taking a USB with exported media, because you can download this. Or if your TV is a smart TV, I wouldn't recommend using a smart TV for this because that's way too expensive. But if your TV is a smart TV and you're willing to load up like YouTube on it, just, Google D&D Living Maps or Living Battle Map, put that on your TV, put the TV flat down on your coffee table, and like maybe a piece of a protective glass if you have like a glass tabletop or acrylic sheet, or if you're brave, just roll and put figurines on the actual TV screen that you're using. It's not hard. It's just how far are you willing to go, Some of the coolest setups I've seen don't even use TV screens for it. They just have a projector from up top. Now, the downside is you're projecting onto the actual figurines, and if you wave your hand over the top of or between the projector and the table, you're going to see, a shadow. But that just turns any table into like a ready-to-use battle map, which is super sweet. You also have to play in the dark, which, might be how most civilized people play D&D anyway. So, Living Map says Santagoy. Tali, yep, saw them on Patreon as well. Yeah, they're really cool. Anyway, the reason why I showed you the little proof of concept I put together is to show how easy it is, how you could do it without spending too much money. I did the Patreon for a month as well at what I thought was the lowest level. Then I saw that I spent like $30. Yeah, Patreon really adds up if you're not careful. You can spend a lot on support, and it's wonderful. As a content creator myself, it's wonderful when your fans get super supportive, and I appreciate the support. But in no way, shape, or form am I asking people to make their own lives difficult just to have a regular stupid fucking tabletop news show that we do. Please don't go broke donating to us. It has happened. There are people who donate more than they can afford to people who they believe will become closer friends with them on Twitch or YouTube. It's not comfortable. Neither for anyone involved. Yep, the topics today, Eric, were pretty short. And in fact, here, let me flash them up on the overlay for you, just so you can see how quickly we got through them. Boom. That was it. And yeah, let's put away the music for now. Just because, Dice Chuck hasn't been adding anything new lately, so we'll put that away for now. That said, all of this so far, after talking about Fallout Shelter, has just been me taking, topics from Santagoy, from anyone else who wanted to share topics. A couple links in there from Dice Chuck as well, because we had to fill the hour somehow. But now it's 2:10 here. We've extended a little bit, and I think it's about as good a time as any to wrap up. So thanks, guys, for listening for as long as you did. Thank you, Dice Chuck. Thank you. I know, Dice Chuck is still here. Thank you, Santagoy. Santagoy was first in the stream. Props to you. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Artificity. Thank you, Tolly Darkstar. And thank you, anyone else who has been lurking and not chatting. I respect your wishes, and I just want you to know that you are appreciated. Tune in on... I don't know if Mark will do an evening stream today. Join our Discord to find out. We'll see. And if not, then the next time you will see us, or see me at least, will be on Wednesday. I will probably be playing... I will probably be playing... Dice Chuck, what game should I play on Wednesday? More Telengard? More something else this time? More Vagante? Eric's asking, are you guys doing the split streams again? We don't know. Life is hectic, dude. This is all just us finding the time to go online and talk to you guys. Eric says, I woke up at 1 p.m. Rachel is here too. Hi, Rachel. Derek. Dicecast says I should play Thy Sword. Sure, I own it anyway. So yeah, we can play Thy Sword on Wednesday. Tolly Darkstar is sad that he missed Starships and Speeders. Okay, you know what? Just for you, let's do a quick 1-minute recap of my reaction to Starships and Speeders. Where did I put my topics list? So that I can get that link again. Essentially, what we did for Starships and Speeders was me just reading out the article because I honestly had not much else to say about that. Starships and Speeders is a new supplement for the Star Wars RPG fans out there. It's coming out in early 2020. No given price yet. Here's an excerpt. Rather than focusing on cosmetic repairs, Solo sought to disguise a smuggling vessel as a get the f out of my stupid ad. Damn it, I'm never buying McDonald's again. Biggest lie ever. Solo sought to disguise a smuggling vessel as a battered junker, cramming mil-spec hardware into the Falcon's weapons, shielding, and sensor systems, and covering key systems with warship-grade hull plating. While effective, these upgrades go beyond what the YT-1300 was designed to handle, making the ship fickle and in constant need of repairs. And that's the Star Wars and Starships and Speeders supplement. So it's a book that comes with over 130 vehicles, including the ground vehicles from your ATSTs, your AT-ATs, and presumably your pod racers. I'm hoping they put pod racing in there. It will also include skimmers, which is why I think the pod racers are going to be in there. Starfighters get their own section. Freighters, yachts, and luxury vehicles will have their own chapter. And then the end of the book closes out with cruisers and frigates. So yeah, basically what we said about this was nice to have. You can, I suppose, if you don't want to learn the Star Wars system, you can just buy the supplement and translate some of the stats and stuff into a system of your choice. Dicechuck likes to use Face Rip for Star Wars, and you can also just buy it to know more about the starships, which, for me at least, are the best parts of Star Wars. I don't give a crap about how the current directors are running Star Wars into the ground and how Disney is just capitalizing on a once beloved franchise by just milking the shit out of it in a very capitalist and mercantile way. I just want to see more space battles. That's my take. And there was our discussion of this topic in particular in a couple minutes, I guess. Boom. Thy Sword, Telengard is epic. So many choices. Adom. Three-Eyed Magpie wants me to play Adom. Oh, wow. We have a lot of choices. Yeah. We could do Adom. We could do Thy Sword. If I do Adom again, though, I don't know. Nobody, I mean, you obviously like to watch that Three-Eyed Magpie, but what the hell? We'll flip a coin, either Thy Sword or Adom. Dicechuck, what time will you be streaming on Wednesday? Hopefully the same time as normal. I will try to start earlier than normal. Yeah, midnight your time. Tally Darkstar, Star Wars RPG fan here. Okay. What do you like about Star Wars RPG? Because I honestly have not tried it. So I don't know what differentiates it from, say, regular D20 or 5th edition. Yeah, take a minute to educate me. Maybe I'll be interested in taking a look at Star Wars RPG. Santagoy, what is ADOM? ADOM stands for Ancient Domains of Mystery. It is a classic roguelike from when roguelike actually meant something. It is very much a inaccessible game to get into for people who are not patient or not lovers of the genre. There have been attempts to modernize it in recent times. In fact, it's coming to the Nintendo Switch soon-ish. By the modernizations include a tile set that actually adds graphics to the game, because prior to that, believe it or not, there were no graphics in ADOM. It was a ASCII-based game. And the ability to use your mouse. That is a cutting edge feature for classic roguelikes, let me tell you. Dicecheck says, I have an original Millennium Falcon with the 80s from the 80s in the original box. This one. Let's put that up on stream. Oh shit. Yeah, look at that. Little Dicecheck enjoying his Millennium Falcon. Oh man, that's cool. You can really put the full size, or not full sized. I mean the 2 scale figurines inside. That's cool. Tally Dark Star space battles would be really cool. I would really like to see more space battles in the upcoming Star Wars movie. Like if the next Star Wars movie that's coming out in December, which most of us in the Philippines won't be able to watch until January because of our stupid cultural film festival. I just had like 2 hours of space battle and no story and no resolution to the Skywalker saga and no Emperor Palpatine or whatever that the trailers have been showing, or no whatever anything else that the trailers have been showing, and it's just a big bait and switch, and they only show dogfights and cruiser skirmishes and space battles for 2 hours. That would be my Star Wars movie. Like I would watch that. That would be better than Empire Strikes Back for me. Just give me 2 hours of X-wing versus TIE fighter. Dice Chuck says it has custom dice. What has custom dice? The RPG, Star Wars RPG, probably. Yeah, okay. Star Wars RPG has custom dice. I think I've seen it. Is it the same dice that they use for the Star Wars war game? Like, what am I thinking of again? Like the Star Wars BattleTech game. I don't know. I think it is. It's the same dice, right? Moving on. What is this image? Yeah, it's the same dice. Okay. That's not me. It's an ad. Santagoy Metro Manila Film Festival sucks. Three-Eyed Magpie, less drama, more space battle. Agreed. Tally Dark Star, it is skill-based, not level-based. You're not limited to species or class. Tally is a tactician, politician, soldier. My wife is playing a medic sharpshooter. This game isn't pass-fail, but you have advantage, disadvantage. Something good happens, or something bad happens, but something really good happens. Oh, okay. It sounds like a little bit of give and take is involved with the roles. Kind of like Fate. Kind of like Powered by the Apocalypse games. It's a multi-axis pass-fail. You can fail, but something good happens, or you can fail, but something bad happens. Or, yeah, you can fail, but something good happens, or you can succeed, but something bad happens. Star Wars RPG is amazing, says Three-Eyed Magpie. Santagoy, the bad guys have won for the MMFF. Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm just hoping that Star Wars comes out in IMAX here, because usually the MMFF doesn't affect anything that shows in IMAX cinemas, right? Dysek says the original plan was to have the big payoff of Leia be the Last Jedi, and she would train Rey. But sadly, Carrie passed away, rest in peace, and they never adjusted the plan despite having a year before Episode 8's release. Now they are apparently panicking. Okay, I have the right idea, but not the same dice. Okay. And there's also force points, which is the element of bargaining, which I believe is like if you want to edge this roll over to be a little bit of a success, you can spend a force point, but then the storyteller or the DM gets to have a dark side point to use, right? Is it something like that? Dicecheck says the previous 3 Star Wars tabletop RPGs dating back to the 80s all had force points too. Wow. Why have I never heard of those? I played Star Wars D20, and I think they had force points as well. Star Wars D20 was very accessible for me because at the time I had come from just playing 3.5, D&D 3.5. And so D20 rules were very, very accessible for someone like me who doesn't have a lot of time to learn new systems. But apparently has a lot of time to stream, which I don't have any more time of today. So we're going to end on that note. Once again, thank you guys all for watching. Some people came out of the woodworks as well towards the end of the stream. Tally Darkstar, glad to have you aboard. See you guys on Wednesday. We're going to play either Ancient Domains of Mystery or Thy Sword. Forgot the name of the game for a bit there. So see you guys when I see you. Have yourselves a great day. Goodbye to all, and remember, love the game, but love each other more. See you guys. Playing you out with the intro. Waka waka wa.